I just have a feeling.
Awesome.
All
Hey,
right,
I
let's see.
appreciate that. That's
Absolutely, man.
awesome. That's
That's what
awesome
it's all.
because I'm gonna get my questions ready. I have a whole bunch of questions that I've been writing down. So
Good. You can ask us. This is a conversation. It's not a typical Q&A. All right, let's see. You can ask questions. I'll ask questions. Whatever you want to do. We'll just do whatever. I remember your message now. I remember your email now. I remember this. Yeah. Okay. So we are live on all the platforms. We got a new friend in the house, Isaiah, which happens to be the name of the one of the 6 ascended masters that came in and talked to me 9 years ago. My favorite one, by the way. So there's never a coincidence. We'll be right back. We're going to play a little bit longer intro, let people come in. We'll be right back with this brother in just a second.
Todd Medina, Soldier One Studios, with a little quick meditation, soulogy style. Got a little something to say about the ascension. I made a decision. I'm bringing my own resurrection. It's my own ass I'm saving. No one gonna do for you what you can do for you. To thine own self be true. We're just bringing what we're feeling here at Soldier One Studios. No one ain't believing, believing ain't to know. Third eye, top of the head, nothing such as being dead. Stop thinking the world gonna butter your bread. Ascendance, spontaneity. Forget the spit and polish, time ain't a wannabe. Ballin' hard for individuality. May you think, question, ask. What are the sun, sin and sun? Take off the mask, seated, vibrating, sharing, creating, talking one soul nation. Show me another place, we got that. Show me another explanation, covering every story and station. No deviating, we celebrating, creating, demonstrating truth beyond the lies. Time's up in the universe, come on down the aisle. Let your heart, mind, spirit fly. Shake your ass, soulogy style. We ain't got all the answers, looking past human pride. Soul is bona fide, tripping me up, but I'm tried and true. Got the 40-40 low and high. Infinity sign, double the deuces, what you think? Hang 10, hang 5. Act like gods are pursuing us. Angel dust, those we trust. I know I done had enough. Money pie in the sky, do or die. How can I arrive? Shackled till I come inside. Found the essence of me. Twisted up who I wanna be. Spaceless time, timeless space, time to face. Grace come to trace. Lifelong destiny, I'm just rolling. Share this space with me. Wheels be spinning, world got no hold on me. Can't you see it's what it be? Light is life, done found it. Burning up, way down inside of me. Brave in the heart, soul hurting no one. Be what you wanna be. Stone cold, soul on ice. No more sacrifice. Thunder and lightning, big pun gave up the advice. Time to bring up the ghetto guard. We got the light and dark living inside of us. Find the best of us, leave the rest of us. Bring it all down till nothing's left of us but what you came into the world with. The only savior is the savior we are to ourselves. Loving ain't easy, but we owe it to each other. Wishing you peace, power, protection, big love, healing. Cause it's all the same thing. Freedom, love, trust, truth, spirit. And the mighty, mighty soul. One.
How's it going, everybody? We got a new friend in here, Isaiah. I've never met him. He sent me a message. I directed him to Leilani, and here we are. And he looks very cool. I'm so enthused about talking to young people, because so much of this community was made up of older people. So here we go, man. And he is, I got to say this, Isaiah has introduced us to a new word called how do you say it? How do you say it?
Equilibriuma.
Equilibriuma, which sounds very resonating to me. Welcome to the show. Thank you for rushing to come in with us after you got off work and honoring us with your presence. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. So thank you so much, brother, for coming in.
Thank you so much as well. I'm just as grateful and sharing it with you as well. This is a beautiful experience. I can feel the energy. You had mentioned something about Ascended Masters.
Yeah.
Where was
go ahead. Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Well, when I woke up, when I reawoke, or whatever we call it, I started to have interactions with disincarnated souls. Uh, Most of them were, some of them were family or people that I knew. Some were I didn't know, and so I did about 25 of these, where I would assist them uh, to what they told me was the healing heaven, which I guess was the fifth dimension, because they were stuck between the earth and they were in the astral. So after that happened, I laid on the couch one night and I was like, "Oh man, if I can do this, then you know, I want to go deep." So I said, "Well, what about Jesus?" And I hadn't thought of Jesus, in quite a while. And he popped in front of my face, and then this whole thing started where he spent like 2 or 3 days with me, and Mary Magdalene came in, and then they were like, "Okay, we're going to introduce you to these 6 biblical names. You'll probably remember them." And I didn't know some of them. Some of them I knew the names. And so the first one that came in was Isaiah. And Isaiah spent like, 10 days with me. They all would spend like, a week to 10 days with me. There were 6 of them: Isaiah, Abraham. Those were the 2 main ones. And then, let's see, Noah, Daniel, Samuel, and Solomon. And each one of them had a different attribute that they told me they had spent time with me or whatever. And later on, I realized, well, these are aspects of me or parts of me. But Isaiah was always the one that was the most prominent. That's why I brought that up. But that's how that happened. That's how that happened.
Thank you for mentioning
Yeah,
that.
no
Because when you said it, I felt it, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's
In
interesting.
fact, he looked a lot like you. He was a little older and a little bit, how you get older, like, man, you put a little more weight on. Because I used to be skinny like you. But yeah, yeah. And actually, that period, or those essences have been coming back into my field recently. Those, and then 3 spirit guides. There were 3 Native American spirit guides that were family members from past lives. They introduced me to them, and I don't know why that's been happening. And then you show up, and you look like a combination of both of them. So
That's awesome.
where are you located? Are you in America?
Yeah, I am in America. I'm in Maryland.
Okay, you're in Maryland. Right on. Right on.
What about yourself?
I'm in I'm in Van Buren, Arkansas, after 3.5 years of traveling around like a homeless hobo. My wife and I, this place found us, found her, whatever, and we're over here and off the road. Got a home base finally after 3.5 years. So. But it's a very powerful place. It's a small little town out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Everybody knows about the crystal beds here. I mean, I'm not a conventional light worker. I don't really do all that stuff and understand all that stuff, the chakras and the crystals. But it is a very powerful place, and I've been called here since I left Houston. I left everything behind in October of 2016. Been called here like 4 times, and then finally my wife, who's an oracle, got the transmission. Hey, we're supposed to go move there, and we came over here with nothing. And you know how it is right now with this energy. The universe is reciprocating, providing what you need.
I love that.
Kind of happened, yeah.
I love that. I agree with that heavy. It's like a. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just adding on to what you were sharing. It's like it's almost like an accepting. Like you have to be willing to accept the reason for that to come in.
Yeah.
And the reasons, there's many reasons.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think you're absolutely right. I think that if I look at my own situation over the last, more than that, really, over the last 9 years, because when I started my journey, I lost everything literally overnight. in fact, Jesus came in the trees at 1:11 in the morning. I was in my backyard teaching myself how to dance at 49 years old because I lost my guitar. And he said to me, tomorrow that everything's going to change, and everything did. So 6 weeks later, I went homeless. And from that point, part of the tutelage was manifestation, abundance, manifestation, kind of like posed against lack and worry. And to be honest with you, what level of self-love, what level of self-hatred, and how that plays out in terms of what you attract to yourself. And so, I think now what's happening in 2020 is that all of the work that many people have done over, say, the previous few years was kind of a delayed gratification because the majority, or we didn't have enough of a collective consciousness expansion level to be able to accept the reality of abundance in our true nature. So on an individual level, there's been many people, I have to put myself in there, which has been working with the energy of manifesting what we want. And I think when you get right down to it, it's tied to your level of self-worth, self-love, and of course, the inverse of that, self-hatred and self-loathing, judgment, self-judgment, and stuff like that. But yeah, I think a lot of people are being reciprocated now. I don't think it's happening in a way that it used to. I don't have a savings account. I wake up a lot like the adepts have done through history. I'm not saying I'm an adept, but you wake up and what you need is given to you on that day. And it's a totally different kind of lifestyle as opposed to what we were conditioned into, which was go work somewhere for 25 years, retire, put your money in the bank, and then when you die, pay for your funeral to get out of here,
I love that. I agree with that. I agree with that really heavily, because that's one of the things that has helped me ground the higher energies.
Yeah.
Is that aspect, is that type of, in similarity, not exact, just in similarity to what you're sharing, like that type of lifestyle, living day by day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did it in the hard way. I mean, I would just have to say I did it the hard way. I remember coming here 4 years ago on a whim, just because I knew somebody, a soul sister that lived here. She drove like 15 hours to come get me, brought me back. I didn't have anything except a computer and a phone, right, to broadcast. And 2.5 months later, I got expelled out of here, went to New York City. And in the middle of winter, with 2 feet of snow and no money, and you talk about a fast track, working with energy, walking the streets in New York, and all the things that it represents and that offers, and to be able to manifest in that environment, and going through a phase or a learning process of infusing emotion into the appeals to the universe for assistance. That was a really long, it seemed like a long trip. I think emotion is a big part of our creative ability, and a unique aspect to the human hybrid species versus some of the other species that don't have the level of emotions we have.
I love that. I agree with that, because we can see it around us. I can't speak for you, in respect for you, in correlation to and in relation to what you're saying. From my perspective, the birds, birds are extremely beautiful creatures, and they're all around me now. You probably hear them.
Dude, the birds are the shit dizzle.
And the thing about the birds is that most of them are primarily meat eaters, and as soon as they wake up, they're like straight survival. Even though they're, all like it looks like from the outside they're on the inside too. It's just it's a dynamic, and it's a. I was gonna use the word duality, but I was gonna use the word duality. I just realized that there's greater words that we could use. Like there's a balance that is in between for them and such.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, how many linear years are you? You can't be 20. Are you 25?
23.
23. Okay. And I gotta, I don't get into a lot of stories, but I gotta ask you, what's your story, man? Were you, a lot of people that come on the show, obviously, or let's say between 35 and 65. Number one. Now, there's been more young people coming on lately in the last few months, but their stories are usually, hey, I woke up. I mean, I was born. I had these abilities as a kid. They got kind of suppressed because nobody believed me or whatever. There might have been some incarceration. There might have been some psych wards. There might have been some alienation from the family. They typically went back to sleep, went into high school, went into early adulthood, went to sleep, joined the matrix, and then had a trauma or a series of traumas that kind of woke them up or reawakened them. But you're 23. Did you ever go to sleep?
Nah.
I didn't think so.
It's funny you said that. The sun just like you saw it come out,
right.
it's like beamed out.
You can't make this shift up, man.
It's of course, like the diagnoses, and then through personal research, just like Isaiah from biblical times, he was always doing research.
Yeah.
He always had books in his hands.
Isaiah.
Looking into different philosophies, and
yeah,
he that's one thing that I can relate with. That is that I can always see the good in the bad, even though I can always see the bad.
Yeah.
It's because I'm extremely sensitive, as I feel you probably are as well, and it's a blessing to be that sensitive.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're familiar with the energy of Isaiah?
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell So when these prophets or these ascendants would come sit with me, they would teach me things. They would remind me of things that I supposedly already knew. But Isaiah actually, now this is without research. Now I would sit with him and then I would go research and see how much of what I was told was there, which virtually all of it was that could be verified. But one of the things that he showed me and that I verified was that he was a peacekeeper. He was a great communicator. And one of the reasons he was a great communicator was because he could see both sides, and also because he was very well read, and he even taught me. Now this is in the ethers, and he taught me this what do you call it? It's a style of poetry called chiasmus. And I looked it up, and it's actually a real thing, right? But it's a semantical, geometrical formulation of words that has this rhythm in it like I've never seen. And to me, it epitomizes the consciousness of Isaiah, which I think you carry, which I know you carry, which I find really interesting and mind-blowing today.
That's awesome. Thank you for that relation. I don't know if you've ever gotten this before, and I'm not sure if you're Chinese. Do you know your Chinese zodiac, your animal?
Ox.
I'm a rat.
You're a rat.
Yeah, and the rat in the mythology was the cat was on the ox's back, and the rat. This is the only way the two actually got across the lake. The cat and the rat, as soon as they did, is because the rat was inside of the ox's ear, hiding in his ear, and the cat was on his back, and his or her back. And as soon as they landed, the rat jumped off, and then the cat, when the rat jumped off, the cat fell in the water. The ox got on land, and the cat swam back to shore. And it's just interesting because I asked, because for some reason you're an ox. I agree with that because of the compatibility. Just to add on to it, I feel like you have this, like, it's almost like you use the word etheric, and I feel like you resonate with that well, and that's what just came to me, like an etheric, half etheric, like mixed in with like I don't want to say like molten, you know what I mean, like a molten half etheric dragon energy.
Yeah.
And that energy is, nobody can stop that energy. I'll put it that way.
Dude.
Nobody can stop that energy, which is good, because since you are, which I know it to be, since you are as blessed as you are to be, and continuing on, then that energy, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah. How did we connect? How did you find Soulogy? Are you on Facebook, on YouTube? Equilibriuma? I mean, give us some background.
Honestly, we connected because I felt your energy, and I felt your soul, and I could see your soul reaching out, like it had multiple arms, and it was reaching out in multiple different directions. And I was like, should I grab one of those hands?
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I did. I grabbed one of the hands because the hands were open. They weren't closed. You know what I mean? They were like this. They were palmed open. They weren't like this. They were like this. Like, as in, like, it's just, you already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So, in that aspect, you presented, and you do represent a foundational piece to this transcendental transformation that we're now going through.
Yeah, this is deep, bro. How do I find the original communications? Do you think it was on Messenger, or do you think it's on Gmail? I'm just curious, because I'm gonna have to go back and investigate this.
I think it was on Gmail. I think we connected through Gmail.
Yeah, I think so too. Did you write me and say, I have some questions?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know that when you wrote me your intent, or you were even thinking about coming on the show. I think you wanted to make contact, right?
That was my initial intention, yeah. That's
right. Okay. I remember now. Yeah. That was a while back. That was about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago.
I don't know. I think this was like last month.
Oh, it was? Well, that goes to
yeah,
show
like
you.
less than a month ago.
My 3D memory is shot.
No, you're all good.
But I remember the energy of it, and I get a lot of messages, and I don't talk a lot because I don't know, I just can't do it. But whenever something resonates, I get it. But I remember this coming in. I remember the energy of it. And I remember you saying, I've got some questions if you don't mind talking. I think there was a couple of exchanges, and then here we are. You said you wrote some questions down today.
Yeah.
What were you referring to?
I'm gonna add it on to what you just said because I feel like
Oh,
it's a nice rhythm we got going on.
I know, man. Totally digging it.
Recently, I've been getting these visions and these astral realm dreams where I've been meeting up with people that I'm either inspired by or I know I have a deep connection with, and it's a reciprocal type of transaction whenever it does happen. And recently I've had a feeling that whenever I think about you for enough time, like for 5 minutes plus, I feel like it starts to shift how the timeline goes in our it's so hard to put into words.
I get what you're saying.
It's like just me thinking about it and just me putting love into it and thinking about the ideas and all these messages I've been jotting down for us. It's like it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can say that much.
It shifts rapidly too, doesn't it? I think I get that part of what you're saying. Like, it's kind of like when you go in, let's say you go in to get a reading, like your palm read or your cards read or whatever, and somebody takes a snapshot of where you're at, because for in the old paradigm it was, oh, this is what's going to happen. You're going to get married, have 2 kids, but that was a snapshot of the trajectory, if they were good, of where you were at. Okay? The minute you leave that encounter, everything changes. Everything changes. The truth changes. Your soul changes. Everything changes. And I get what you're saying about these meetups in the etheric. I've heard more and more people talk about it. I'm more sensitive to it. For some reason, I can't recall as much of it, although I'm recalling more of it over the last few weeks. But this connection or recall from what we call dream state to awake state is lessening. It's bleeding over. Like you said, I don't know how to explain this, but there's something in between the lines or in between the spaces of the words that you're speaking that's speaking to me. And that's the real conversation.
I love it. I agree.
We're getting.
Thank you for re-exemplifying that in a quick and concise manner.
Dude, we came from the same. Oftentimes they'll say we came from the same branch of the tree of life, but you and I think came from the same stem of a leaf on the tree of life. Wow, very powerful.
All right, so, let me break out some of these topics.
Right on.
I feel like I've been really thinking about them and feeling them out, and I felt like, and these were all topics that I was intentionally putting out there from your energetic pulses.
Wow.
I was doing my best to answer your pulses with these topics. So.
All right. Did we lose him? Wow. It's the energy. His stream is.
Hold on.
There You're back.
Okay.
It's all good. It's the energy. Oh, you were looking up stuff on your phone. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to split screen it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to split screen it so I can have this open at the same time. And
it's all right. However we got to do it.
Okay. Well, let me just grab one and then I'll pull it back.
Yeah, we'll just do that. That's cool.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm about to go back and find the original messages. I'm intrigued by this. No, he'll pop back in. He just disconnected. What a trip, man. 23 years old. If you saw pictures of my son, my oldest son from 3-4 years ago, they look exactly the same almost. Let's see. I need to take care of a little business. Anna Chaudhary. Can you message me at? I looked for your information. I couldn't find it. So if you could message me at soulogy1studios@gmail.com, that'd be cool. I want to propose something. Right. He'll be back. There he is. Right on. That works. We can do this any way we need to. We're cool.
Oh man, was I just
You
hear
good?
me just now? Yeah. Were you able to hear me just now?
No. You just can't. I can now. No, we couldn't hear you. You were
Oh
just coming
man.
in. You were just coming back in.
Okay.
What's wrong? Were you rolling?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's all good.
Okay.
I'll just rewind it.
All right.
You were on with a beautiful soul, and I forgot her name.
Mm-hmm.
I remember who she was. I just forgot her name. And I was told to write this down by God, my higher self, whatever you want to call it.
All right.
And what you guys were talking about was the potential and the possibility that whenever we get visited by something,
Yeah.
that visitation is one of two things that I remember you guys mentioning. The first one was it could be a future version of ourselves.
Yeah.
Or it could be our higher selves.
Yeah.
And that was one of the highest vibrational things that I've heard from for a while. Like, and I had to just bring that up again.
No, that's a great point. You know, if you watched a few shows, you know that my wife and I, we put our hands together every night. We lay down side by side. And so there's been this whole evolution from aspects appearing, translucent humanoid figures appearing in our room, entering my body, watching each other morph, dragons,
Yes.
all kinds of stuff. But over this year, especially over the past few weeks, as we lay down together, and a lot of times she'll channel direct, her higher self just enters her body and she starts talking. But as I lay there now, and this happened last night, so it's not a coincidence you're bringing this up. I'm laying there and I'm thinking, okay, what do I think about? Who am I appealing to? Who am I talking to? Why am I not feeling this level of emotion and these human things? And it came back, which isn't the first time, and it was like, because this is all you. And not in a cliche-ish way, but this is all you. And then as I dipped into the reality of the unity consciousness that her and I have created, now this is all done this is all done intuitive speak. It's not like logical explanation. And I just understood. It wasn't the first time, and saw that everything in the room was us. It was our energy mix, because I asked all these aspects that came in, were they me, were they her, or were they us? And I got they're both of you. So when two or more come together and that energy field mixes and they're at a near or the same vibrational frequency, the externalization and the physical manifestation of their playground is one of the things that's coming into the fold now. It's not just one person having a apparition appear, it's now two or more. And this is part of what we're breaking into, all of us. So, I don't know, I don't know.
I love that. I love that. I love how you explain that. I think you explain that so it's easy to understand or easy to understand.
Hmm.
And just add on, if it is multidimensional and it's a transcendence type of energy, then the way perception I feel, and this is just my personal perspective, that the perception upon this reality has shifted so much now with what we think our perception is and what we think the truth is and what we think real is. Because those all need to be defined personally for things to happen for oneself. And this is again personal opinion.
Yeah.
Then the fabric of this reality will begin to change as well.
I agree. Now we're getting somewhere. I totally agree with that. People. Okay. There is a growing awareness, recognition, whatever you want to call it, of disclosure, conspiracy, truth is stranger than fiction, and everyone's like, okay, the event, the solar flash, spaceships landing, military tribunals, justice, secret space, breakaway civilizations, I don't think that's what the deal is here. I'm with you. I think that the disclosure is ourselves. Like, think about it. What would be harder to accept? That there are pedophiles and human trafficking and satanic rituals and breakaway civilizations and secret space programs and that, or I am a god in the flesh. I can be on Venus for dinner tonight. I can be 4 places at one time. I can telepathically communicate with my brother in Maryland at a drop of a hat without picking up a phone or to message him. All these things that we would understand the infinite universal creative God particle to be, that has simply replicated itself over and over and over and over again. And what would be easier to accept? All the bullshit or all this gold? I think that I'm with you. I think that the perception, the limitations of our perception, even if we think we're broad-minded, with an open mind towards conspiracy and disclosure and all that, I think it's a far greater challenge to accept our supernatural, infinite abilities, because it's so far out there. And I also feel that the way for Todd to explore and expand that reality is for Todd to jump in with both feet and say, fuck it, I'm in.
I agree with that. I agree with that because that's recently I had and I shared it with one of my Soul Tribe members recently, that I was actually sharing with you. Just reminded me. I was sharing with her that I was exemplifying how I saw a perspective of her in the recent past, which was she had, like a toe. She had just a toe in, like, not even a toe, like a toenail one toenail
Yeah.
that was hanging on. It was just just a toenail, just hanging on. And the rest of her body was in the 5D, and what we call this 5D energy. And I told her I'm the same way. I said I have the same feeling about it. And recently, just to add on to what you're saying, that's what I've been doing, and that's what I have done. Is that it's interesting, it's like you said. I agree with you. Once we realize our godhood, and then once we actually see examples of it, it goes beyond. It almost goes beyond sharing it with others, because you have to. When people say you have to experience something yourself, it might sound harsh to say.
Yeah.
I know that there's some truth in that, though.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, to make it a little easier to understand and quicker to get, is when you strive, and I feel like you think in a similar way. When you strive for something simple at first, like peace,
Yeah.
and you begin to sacrifice the things around you that you don't need, you start to experience subtle changes in your environment, not yourself, in your environment, that can have an effect on yourself.
Yeah.
And then eventually, once you get past the point of realizing that peace isn't the ultimate, and there's so much more than just peace, and there's so much more than just love, then you might be seeking the full potential of what this human body can be. And then as you climb that ladder, those examples and experiences around you become unfathomable when it comes to words and sharing, because the senses can't be translated. And the senses are tools that we have to experience part of our manifestation.
Yeah. Because it's there's a lot you said there, but one of the things is I can't make you feel something. Well, like in terms of like instructing, like you can instruct me bricks and mortar, straight lines, but when it comes to feeling, the feeling is knowing, like I don't know, there's just nothing to replace it. I get what you're saying, and I also get what you're saying about you can't do it for somebody, or what you said, something like that. I think what you were getting at, which I agree with, is when you light the world, when you light the grid up, light the universe up, you can be alone in a room by yourself. You can be in front of 1 million people. It doesn't matter. When you hit that level of synergetic level, that cooperative, infinity sign with the universe. The universe is my twin flame. Everything external of me is me. Right? When I hit that continuity and I start blasting out illumination, whoever it may be, it's picked up by everyone and everything. So it's like what you were saying a minute ago. We're moving into this space. We're already here. It's like the Wright brothers when they flew an airplane. And then it was another one, and then another one, another one. Nobody could do it till somebody did it. It's like the dude with the 4-minute mile. Nobody could break a 4-minute mile, and then it became like common. It's like there's some major energetic doors that are about to be absolutely, they'll be opened. And these are doors of what you were talking about, our level of perception even the most open-minded being brought to, you know, called out on the carpet and being shown stuff that's far beyond anything we could have comprehended 6 months ago, 6 years ago. We're moving into a space now that it's going to change everything at even a faster pace, at warp speed, you know? And I think, I feel that, look, today's September the 1st. September is a 9. A 9 is completion. There's a reason for this. There's a reason this is happening right now. There's a reason that the first ascended that walked in the door was Isaiah, and you're Isaiah, and we never talked, and like we're talking like we've been friends for billion years, which we have. I mean, it's the space between the words. It's the resonance, the frequency, the vibration, the energy, the waves of energy, the plasma. It's the elements. It's the words. Yes, the words are important. They're a big part of the human hybrid soul experience, and they carry the same paradoxical quality that everything else does. We don't need them at all, but we need them at this time. It's crazy. It's weird. 100th monkey. That's what Allison just said, and that's what I think you're talking about. This 100th monkey is a real 100th monkey. The big one is going to happen not when Nibiru comes back into our atmosphere or the sun blinks at us and commands a solar flare or some other thing happens. The 100th monkey is going to happen when one of us breaks through, or a team of us breaks through to a higher level of perception, a more realistic, natural nature, perception of our natural nature, understanding of our natural nature, and then everything blows from there. Everything parallels from there. If you grow in love, you grow in wisdom. If you grow in wisdom, you grow in courage. If you grow in courage, you grow in brotherhood, sisterhood, unity. You know, everything goes with it.
One minute.
What's that?
I agreed with, I forgot what the name was on there. Somebody said that love, there's nothing above love. I agree with that because that's how you view reality.
There it is, Dawn.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's a balance.
Yeah.
And in my reality, enlightenment holds a higher vibration than love.
Yeah.
And I've been at both. I've been at both spectrums. I've experienced love from entities. This is, you know, from other people's perspectives, I could be completely wrong. This is just from my personal experiences.
Yeah.
From interacting with different beings, different spirits, people, my family members, people that I love the most in this world. Love can reach a certain spot, and then it seems like there's almost like a threshold for me. And then that threshold, it's like there's something right above it. Like there's something right above that. And for myself, I'm not trying to convince anyone. This feeling of being one with the universe, once I got this insight of feeling like I was like a big baby, like you're in a womb,
yeah.
And the womb is the center of, you know, this galaxy, and you can feel the warmth. I can feel the warmth, and this feeling, it's love. Love is involved within this feeling.
Yeah.
It's not completely comprised of love, though. No. That's the thing, is that there's something more than what these emotions can fathom in that sensation.
Yeah. 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 I don't even know if there's I don't even know if it can be explained, really. But so like now, like maybe by examples that we've experienced, like recently, and again, it's not a coincidence. So So from 15 to 50, I had seizures. And when I had a seizure, or when somebody has a seizure, what happens is you start to hear this ringing and these tones, and I believe like you see like waves. There's just something that happens, and it's like a total surrender, a total loss. That's why people urinate when they have a seizure. They'll vomit, or they'll defecate, or all three, right? Because everything goes into this space of relaxation that's beyond physical. It's like being shot out of a cannon. You know, it's like you just have nowhere to go, right? And I've had this feeling consciously in the last week. Different parts of my body leaving my body. And it's this place you're talking about. Another quick example happened over the last week to 10 days. And this is metaphoric, but it's an energetic explanation. I'm laying next to my wife, hand to hand, and a masculine, the divine masculine, appears in front of me and merges with me. Now, at a level, I know this is me, but it's this pure, soft, powerful, perfect. And then 5 days later, it's the feminine. It's me. And then it's my wife. I rise out of my body as this feminine. She rises out of her body as this masculine. Her masculine's now making love to my feminine in the ethers, and I'm watching it like I'm at the drive-in. And the light body feels it, and then the physical body feels it. This is the place you're talking about. It's beyond even what we call unconditional love. It's like, it's I used to say surrender to the embrace. I really getting 3 weeks ago. I was driving to the store. You guys came to create a higher truth. There's a difference between giving up and surrendering. When you give up your power. When you surrender, you receive abundance. That's what I was told. And still, it's a futile attempt to try to explain this place that you're talking about. But I get what you're saying.
I think and feel like I'm agreeing with you. I think and feel like you exemplified it beautifully. And I feel like you described it on a level, on another dimension. And it's not mine.
Yeah.
Like you were sharing, it's something that we connect to. And it's something that you and I can feel. And you agreed with it. And I respected you. And I still respect you. I'm just speaking in past tense.
Yeah.
Like you said, you just reminded me of it with your feelings just now. From the same leaf,
Yeah. It's not the words. I've watched this happen. I started doing videos in 2014. And I don't go back and watch anything. And this is also an observation of other people. Other people that come on the show for the first time, or other people that start their own show or start making videos. What I notice is, like, if I go back and look at my stuff, because I'm closest to it, they'll come up, like there's something that'll come up from 5 years ago when I was back in the original studio, just pulling stuff out of my ass, just turn on the camera, don't think about it, and just start talking. And sometimes I would look at myself and go, holy shit, I got to turn that off, What was I doing, But not in a bad way, and I would look at it in an analytical way. Why did this work? Why does it work when somebody picks up the phone and starts filming themselves and starts getting raw and real, embracing their human, laying it out there, showing their ass. And I realized that it was because of the heart. It was because of the devotion and the surrendering and the sharing, and it's not the words. And I see it all the time now with people expressing, not just by video, but also by the written word. And I think that's and I've said this many times on the show, we all got this connection that's coming through these channelings and downloads, but it's the human that's the mission and the prize. What we're seeking is what we are.
It's like, I'm just adding on to what you're saying. I'm agreeing with you.
Right on.
I just got this sensation, and it reminded me of what you were sharing, slightly of what you were sharing when it came to that feeling you get. Not so much of the sounds, but more so like, it just reminded me, it could be in relation to what you were sharing when it came to the feeling of almost being like lightheaded.
Yeah.
That lightheaded, though, is not regular lightheaded. It's like a lightheaded where you feel like you're in between different realms, like your consciousness is in between different realms, and you can almost poke through and like suck in like that whole realm if you wanted to.
That's right. That's right. And when you come out of a seizure, or when I did, you have amnesia. My wife could be staring me in the face as I come out of a seizure, which is really coming out of that space you're talking about, which is not just here. And she could be looking at me, talking to me, and I won't know who she is. I won't know who I was. I don't know where I'm at. And there's no doubt in my mind that place is that space that you're talking about. It's the void. It's like, you know what, I often do this, and I haven't thought about this a long time. I used to often do this meditation. I guess that's what you call it. I would be walking on a frozen lake, right? I'm walking on this frozen lake, and I thought, what's going to happen when the ice breaks? I didn't like try to frame it up. I didn't say, I'm going to fall in cold water. And I walk across the lake. I will the ice to break. I fall through, and all I do is fall. I just keep falling. I'm in this black void. I'm just falling freely. And I could never change that outcome. It would always do the same thing. And I never could really put my arms around it and understand what that meant, other than, like Plato said, the more I know, the less I know. I don't know anything. Because in that space, I don't know anything.
I agree. I agree.
Except create your way out. Imagine your way out. Create your way out.
There's, adding on to what you just said, because I've experienced it. I've done a QHHT session.
Oh.
You familiar?
Yes.
I did a QHHT session, and during my life review section of it, I remember my body. And the interesting thing, I'm just going to share this as an addition, because I think you would like to hear this. Since I was a female in that life prior to doing a life regression, my spirit body in the cosmos, when I left the earth, still had a feminine frame, but it was an energy body.
Yeah.
So the organs weren't there, but the frame was still there. And it's almost like a signature. That's how I took it. Either way, I'm agreeing completely with what you said. And I feel like what I experienced is exactly what you were sharing, in the aspect that Mother Nature came to me. I felt it at first. I had like a feeling. And then I saw this giant being appear before me, like about 20 to 30 feet tall. And in her left hand, she had, and this was 4 years ago, in her left hand, she had a tree. And the left hand symbolizes receiving, and the right hand symbolizes giving out. In her left hand, she had a tree, because she was so big. When she was holding the tree, it looked like a stick in her hand. And she had just the roots of the tree. Like if she's holding it like this, like she had just the stump, and then like the roots, all the roots. And then in her right, and then the symbolism is pretty straightforward. It's stick with your roots, and that's how you find everything, and not just 3D roots. Her right hand, she had a giant spear, and that's pretty straightforward as well with the spear. So and then every time I would want to go somewhere, I could go to it. Like I wanted to see what our galaxy looked like. So it's like something zoomed out. It was like vroom, it zoomed out, and I was floating there with. I'm gonna be honest with you. The being that was guiding me was one of my elders. It was a female elder that was with me, and she was like a grandma. I called her grandma. That's what came to me when I was in that astral realm. I said, "This is grandma," because I remember listening to the recording, and I kept on saying grandma, and grandma kept on. She was like, "I'm gonna show you what it looks like now." So she showed me, the whole spiral of our galaxy, and you could just zoom into things. You could just zoom out, zoom back in, zoom back out, and it was like you had like 5/5 vision, like an eagle vision. Once I went from place to place and then saw these different things, the most important was the actual life, the flash, when I saw it's like people call it like a film.
Yes.
And I didn't see that film at first. What I saw was everything stopped. There was no black and there was no white. It was the point before light begins, and that's God. That's what God is. God is the point before light and darkness begins. He is that creation point.
Yeah.
That's at least my perception on it.
The space in between, right?
Yes.
Right.
And that point, I saw that for a second, and then I saw a flash, and that's what I thought it was. And then as soon as I saw that, I saw flickering black and white, like really fast, just like black and white. And the message I got from that was, this is our reality.
Yeah.
It's just flickering black and white. That's all it is. That's literally
like a strobe light.
Literally. It was so interesting. It was like, I mean, if I drew it, it's like there's only so much a drawing can. It can share a lot with it. I mean, I know you know where I'm coming from with this.
Yeah. I'm picturing like a strobe light.
Yeah.
Like strobe lights, like just an infinite number of. But I get what you're saying. In fact, I'm like wondering here, when did I see that? Because I know what you're talking about.
That's where all creation comes from. Is that flickering, and it starts from God. So it's like pew pew, and then it starts flashing, and then everything's from there.
Yeah.
At least that's how I felt it and saw it and experienced it. And then I actually saw, because it was my time to go on to the next life. In this belief that I had in this, this astral body that I had after this life, after that current life that I had, I saw a temple, and this temple looks like most churches. Some of the biggest churches that you've seen in the world that are extraordinarily beautiful, just amazing, and they have marble everywhere.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that looked like, just more pristine,
Yeah.
just a little bit more pristine. And as I was floating into it, like literally just floating along into this temple, floating in it, I saw these giant flowers spinning around me. Like literally you could just go like this and pass your hand through them. I saw these giant flowers spinning. I saw a rose, and then I saw a chrysanthemum.
Mm.
And both of them, when I saw them, as they were spinning without the stems, were representation of God's geometry. That's how God builds this reality,
Right.
is through the representation of spinning flowers. And those are just examples of, in his temple, of his divinity. It's not his or hers, but its divinity. And then I saw what people call the staircase.
Yeah.
And as soon as you see the staircase, that's when you get the flashes. That's when I saw the flashes. And the flashes are when I saw everything. You see everything, and it's not a life regression. The life regression actually happens before you go through all of those beautiful experiences. You go through the hard part first, and it's not even a hard part. The life regression and seeing everything that you did in your life isn't even hard. I think they want you to think it's hard because they want to put fear into people. Where there's fear, there can't be love. Where there's love, there can't be fear.
Hmm.
So they want to make sure that love can't exist in as many realms as they try to make it seem. The life regression is beautiful.
Yeah.
Because you learn so many lessons that you just thought you learned, and then you learn them, and when you learn them, you actually gain vibration based on your learning as you're having it. It's so hard to put this into words right now.
That makes sense, though.
As it's going on, and as you're decoding it actively, like live, you're receiving the vibrational enhancement.
Yeah.
Based on your past. It's like an addition.
Yeah.
And then you go up the ladder, then you see the flashes. Once you see the flashes, that's when you see everything and nothing all at once. You see pretty much life encompassed, kind of like the spiral wheels that you see in a lot of different traditions that show how life goes on and stops. You see a lot of that kind of stuff, a lot of biblical stuff from different religions. And then that's it.
Yeah.
That's that consciousness for that life's mission, and then you're reborn.
Yeah.
And at least from my perception, the rebirth process is. Sorry, am I going on too far?
No. Somebody just called me without. I'm good. I just hung up on it.
The rebirth process is such a beautiful process because we don't know from my awareness right now, and I could prove myself wrong later on in life, and I might like it because of it. From my awareness so far, from my experience, the rebirth process isn't anything to fear because we don't know it's coming.
Yeah.
So when it happens, we're placed within our vibration that we just were at, and nobody talks about it. Nobody that I've heard. I mean, I've heard some things close to that. I haven't heard it as in depth as I experienced it, to the point where how your vibration actively shifts even after you leave your body.
Yeah.
And that shifting, in addition to your vibration on the planet, it doesn't matter what you did wrong. It doesn't matter. As long as you can see the lessons in it, you'll raise your vibration after you leave this body.
Yeah.
While you're on the earth, that's your temple.
Yeah.
Just like they say, it's your temple. So
if you look at no, it's beautiful. So two things. One, I got to say, based on what you're describing, it makes you wonder, my wife always says a copy is a copy is a copy. Like you're talking about those flower, that geometry that God uses to create. It's the same equation throughout, right? And so what I'm saying is, it makes me wonder, in a kind of a cosmic, humorous way, is this life itself that we're having right now, this incarnation we have right now, is it not a life review? Are we not having experiences? And like you said, if you do something wrong and learn from it, you grow vibrationally. It's kind of interesting because it looks like the same type of design. The other thing is, I remember 8 or 9 years ago when I rewoke that they explained to me that there was no hierarchy, but they explained to me that there was a maturation level or levels of the soul. So in other words, one soul could be more mature than another soul because of the choices they've made and the awareness that they've gained. None of it's given to you. It has to come into you're in charge of your own, you're rowing your own boat. And the way they showed this to me, one of the ways they showed it to me was what you're saying. They said when you go from one to the other, you're at the same vibration. Prior to the rebirth, you're at the same vibration. Like your innateness is at that level. It bottoms out at that level. You take in the full, your whole entire field goes with you. Your level of expansion, whatever you brought into your field goes with you. Yeah. That's interesting too, because I remember these first 25 or 30 disincarnated souls that I interacted with, they were aware of what you're talking about. They had not crossed over, but as they were crossing into, and it was funny because there was a stairwell like you're talking about. There was a set of doors, and I know this is my own metaphorical reception that I received, right? But there was a set of doors. Everybody had their own unique signature on the doors. But as they would go through the doors, they would look back and all telepathically, what you're talking about, they understood. They were like, aha, I see you, Todd, for what you are. That was the big one. And then they would tell me about other people that were involved in that scenario. But
I love that you related that, because I feel it to be true, what you said that when that person said that just now, the rainbow energy.
Yeah.
It's funny because right when I was finished explaining it, I felt like this eminence coming off of me. And then I felt you like adding on, like just like adding your energy into this thing that we have going, this exchange, this rhythmic balance that we have going on here.
Right on.
And it's interchangeable, what we have going on.
Yeah.
Just like I'm quoting, I'm spacingly quoting Walter Russell.
Yeah.
And rhythmic, that's what he said when he said, if anyone wants to know God, I give them one word, and that word be rhythm.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If one word isn't enough, I give them 2 words: rhythmic balance. If 2 words isn't enough, I give them 3 words: rhythmic balanced interchange.
Walter Russell, I didn't know that.
And based on that quote, I do my best to be as graceful and as respectful and as patient as I can with beings like you and with anyone, doesn't matter. Because if I don't provide you with the space and energy that I feel is a balance, I'm not going to receive it back.
Yeah. Well, the infinity sign gets interrupted, right? I mean, oftentimes we look at another person and say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not holding space, you're not listening, you're not whatever. But again, nothing changes on this trip. It's never them, it's always me. It's kind of hard to believe that we can affect the energetics of that other person, but we actually can. Because if we can get past, going back to what you were saying earlier, our perception of what things are, these absolutes that we throw down on ourselves, both consciously and that have been thrown down or accepted unconsciously, have run this thing too long. It's gone on too long.
I agree. And adding on to what you were saying, I just got I'm going to put it as smoothly as I can put it.
Yeah.
I got it like a vision just now that came with a set of feelings. And those feelings were, and the vision was encompassing it together, was that, and this is me being extremely raw as you were sharing, and this is the openness is how we create creation.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm digressing really far back to when you were saying sometimes the traumas, I didn't forget when you talk about the traumas and how sometimes that's something for someone. I did it to myself on purpose, and I've done it to myself many times to myself on purpose without intentionalizing it, without having the intention for it.
Yeah.
I did it to myself. And when I did it to myself, I learned, and when I say did it to myself, what happened was, in the physical reality, my sensitivity and vibration were so unbalanced with the give and take of my outer surroundings that my inner vibration skyrocketed through those vibrations to the point where I couldn't understand anything that was happening. And at times, and my most recent one, which was about a year ago, and I'm being extremely honest because I don't care. About a year ago, one of the most dramatic things happened in my life. And it was directly towards me. And I broke down crying for not straight, on and off for 3 days. And this crying connected me with these energies that wanted me to, it wasn't just a release like a lot of people say. It was a release, of course. It was an upgrade.
Yeah.
The crying allowed me to enter into a new dimension. And that dimension had a perception, like you just shared, had a perception that was beyond what I thought was even possible. And if I wouldn't have had, and I'm going right back to why I started saying this just now, it's because I feel like the vision that I just got and the feelings that came with it is that you've also experienced something similar to this as well in your life.
That's why I'm trying not to cry. Absolutely. You took me right there when you first started talking about it, and more than once. Like you said, more than once. But the way you described it, that it's almost, to me it was okay. To me it was like a rope. Like the crying wasn't just about releasing it all. It wasn't about that. There was a rope. Like I would picture it like this. When I was on the streets. I was at the bottom of a well, like say 200, 300 feet down in this well. And the well's got moisture running all down the wall, the circular wall. And algae, and it's slippery, and there's smooth, and you can't climb out. And so these moments that you described, I can't even re-describe what you just said. But that feeling, that place that you're at, and that's what I saw when you were talking about it. I remember it was like a rope. Like the deeper I went, the higher I went. And it baffled me at the time because I was having these incredible divine episodes in communion, to include apparitions and the whole 9 yards. And then at the other end of the spectrum was this physical man curled up in a fetal position, sleeping behind a building on a box, crying his eyes out. It blew my mind. It baffled me. And I used to say, I've proven to the world that you can lose your fucking mind and still find the light. In the moment.
I agree.
Wow.
I
So
love it. What's up?
I was going to ask, how do we find you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on YouTube? Or
my YouTube is Equilibriuma.
Oh, you do have a YouTube, Equilibrium.
I don't make videos. I had over 100 videos at one time, and then I was told by spirit to delete them all.
Really? Wow.
And I was doing stuff, with a similar vibration. I do have an Instagram, which is, I think a lot of people, and I think you would like to. It's an aspect of myself that is 100%, 110% for the people, for everyone else out there, for my external reality.
Yeah.
And it's I do a lot of drumming on there.
Really?
I only have like 9 posts. I play the djembe drum. It's like that the one where you just slap it with your hand kind of thing. And I only have about 9 posts. The thing is, I still feel like some people may resonate with it, and I think you might like it as well.
Right on. Under the same name?
It's gonna be rhythmic underscore balanced underscore interchange.
I was going to be a smartest and say, let me guess, because I know the last one. I don't know that I've ever, honestly, I haven't read Walter Russell in years, but that's not the kind. I bet you couldn't find 100 23-year-old men that have read Walter Russell that deep.
I want to be honest with you here because I think you'll love it. I think you'll love it. I went on a hiatus, right? And in the summer of, I think it was 2018, I was helping my grandpa repair his back. He injured his spine falling off of a ladder. And I was there pretty much as his caretaker, And during that time, I was being blessed. And just because of that, just simply because of caretaking for him. And I transmuted that blessing type energy. I mean, the birds are crazy over here. They're like flying down like parachutes. And it's cool though. And I transmuted that energy into research. And I was like, okay, this is it. I saw something, I felt something, and I was like, I gotta find it. I found this collaboration of videos, and I spent 10 days and 10 nights, like, 10 full days almost. I only got like 3 to 5 hours of sleep, but as soon as I woke up and right before I went to sleep, I was on the computer and I was noting down everything and redefining everything that he put down in his own words, just redefining it in a simpler manner.
Yeah.
And then I was told to burn that book. And yeah, I was told that based on the intention of how burning rituals are done, because fire is the element of change. At least that's my understanding of it. When you apply fire to something, it changes it. And if you can involve light within the fire, then you can have intention within the change. And what I was told to do by my higher self was, and by the God energy, was to burn my journals. And when I burned my journals, what it did is it actually released all of that stuff that I did, all of these poems and all of these drawings that I've done for years, and it put them out into the Akasha. And the Akasha, now everyone, not just myself, had the opportunity to receive and to gain exactly what I had written down.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't about me at that point.
I'm with you on that. Yeah. Just like we were talking, who was it? I can't remember anything. The last show with Denise. She was talking about doing some video. Oh, she was uploading her stuff to YouTube. All her individual videos she's done, these light language sessions she's done, and she gets reviews, and she was saying how she was thinking to herself, like so many of us have, what's the point? Nobody's watching her. And that's what we were talking about. I said, I know that that's a physical Akasha. That all this stuff is going to be tapped in, whether it's literal or figurative, non-physical or physical. And I remember this back 8-9 years ago walking the streets. I remember getting this information in. I didn't really understand it, and I still don't fully understand it, but they were telling me everything you, and you means all of us, everything you are writing down, every message, every post, every poem, everything is recorded, and everyone will, like you said, have access to it. And of course, the flip side of that was, as we were talking about earlier with the crying, was I was told, do you think you've done some crazy, wild shit in your life, and you're, the time will come when everyone will know everything you've ever thought, said, or done. And in that moment, I got liberated because I understood that that's the way it worked for everybody. A pure telepathic environment where there are no secrets and no lies. Everything is laid out in the open. It's that point where, that point I was describing with the seizure, where you jump in with both feet.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that during a lot of those book burnings, all that information was being put in the Akasha.
Right.
They didn't realize that. Like, all that information wasn't leaving anywhere.
Even with the history books, the history is written by the winners. But you're right. I love this story about the Cathars. The Cathars were basically extinguished by whoever the other opposition was. I can't remember. But the Cathars were very, very devoted. They were like totally spiritual. So they herded up. They had, they had laid siege to the castle or whatever the town that they were in. And they got in and they pulled him out and they put him into a stockade, like a barn, like a big barn. And they locked it from the outside and they burned it down. And 200, 300 Cathars, and they were men, women, and children. And there were more than one eyewitness account that has been recorded. Not a sound was heard. Not one single whimper, cry, scream, nothing. And to me, that's one of the most powerful, energetic stories I've ever heard. And because that, to me, is the best example I can come up with in recorded history, that the silence speaks, that the energetic impact and imprint of that collective force will never be denied, will be felt by everybody, as opposed to somebody's revisionist history that made one believe something that wasn't even true. I mean, so the irony of what you're saying is huge.
There's, for a while now, as in on this discussion we've been having, this exchange we've been having, this interchange we've been having, I was shared to share with you, because you know how crystals are sometimes. They want to be known, you know. Some crystals, they want to be shared, and they don't like to be kept, like, you know, like secret, you know, like put down or anything like that. And these ones I'll show you just really quickly. And these ones I was guided to have, and I feel like you have a connection with this as well. This is black quartz, or smoky quartz.
Quartz.
Let me see if I can get that close up.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah. And that's the only way. That, and I have a tumbled tourmaline on me, and those are the only crystals that allow me to ground the energies that I have in. Just recently, I didn't have them on me, and I wasn't able to ground everything that you see around me and feel around me. This right here, I feel like you're really gonna like this. I'm opening up the what do they call it? What's it called?
Pandora's box.
I was gonna say that. It's the box that they hold in Jerusalem or wherever it's at. That's
Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, the Ark of the Covenant. So I got some of these guys, which are, I know you know about these guys. Some of these guys. These are higher keys of Solomon. They're not the lower ones. So these ones actually work with the archangels and the planets, the planetary energies. This is the tumbled tourmaline.
Wow. Where did you get that?
Yeah. When I got it at my crystal shop, I'm saying yeah because I'm agreeing with you. Like, when I got it at my crystal shop, the guy was like, I've never ever seen anything like this before. And I was like, what? So I had to get something. And yeah, I'm gonna whip these guys out. I just gotta get them all together real quick. This is let me pull this guy out real quick. And these are just some of my, some of the things that allow me to channel these energies. Because something new that I had potential. So it was like, it needed to make sure that I had tools to use that potential. So this is it's what they call Greek fire. It's a Greek fire puck.
Wow.
I don't know if you see that. See the green in there? It's like green little dots. So it's 24 karat gold, and on the inside it's just like straight orgone energy. It's made by the same. It's cool because you see those bubbles there? Those bubbles are actually the exemplification of how it moves. The bubbles move all the time. like they move in slow motion. So, and then here I'm gonna pull out this one. I do have a finale for you. I do have, and I think you'll love it. I think you'll love it. And the finale I was told to share with you. I'm just sharing all the glitter first, you know.
I got you.
Prop this up real quick. All right, so this is cherryite. Let me see if I can get it in the light.
Yeah.
I can't really pronounce it well. It's called cherryite or cherite.
Chiite?
Yeah, something like that. You probably know of it.
No, I don't. But
And
sounds. Oh yeah.
it's the one that helps you ground in higher vibrational energies so you can use them.
Wow, that's pretty, man. That's very nice.
And then let me see. I got another puck. I got 2 of them. And then here is some chi energy.
Wow. Oh wow. Trippy colors on that one.
Yeah, they say that's actually chi that's trapped in there.
Trippy.
And then check this out. This is the finale before the finale. I know you're gonna like this. I gotta be extremely careful with them because, you know, they are considered glass. So
What is that? Looks like fossils.
these are moldavites.
Moldavite. Okay.
These are some of the highest vibrational crystals that you can get on the planet, and they came in through the Czech Republic, and you can just see by my hand they're pretty decent size. I'm holding about $500 in my hand right now of these crystals. Yeah, and this guy right here is a special one. It's called a base nice, and because it's so pointy, it's got like different points on it. So this allows you to connect with the ETs, the energies of the astral realm, such like that. And see, you can see right through it.
Yeah. $500 worth of it.
Yeah, I've collected it over. I've been told to do it for a while. This one I actually found. I actually found this one.
You're kidding. Where'd you find it?
I found this in, where was it? In California, on some land. I was living on some land, and I actually found it on the land.
You can't make this stuff up, man.
And I knew it right away that this was a moldavite, and I was like, "Yep, it's a moldavite." You can see how it starts to shine. The glass goes through it. The light goes through the glass.
Yeah.
And then, okay, I'm gonna see if I can get her out because she's kind of shy.
Yeah. What's this one?
This one is called Penfieldite. It was named after a scientist, I believe, or a gemologist named Penn, and something Penn, and they named the crystal Penfieldite after him. And I keep her in here so that, you can see she's like wrapped up in a whole bunch of stuff, because if she comes close to water, she evaporates. She starts to dissolve in water. So
in water or around water?
Like
Just
any,
around.
yeah, like even like a drop, it'll start to disintegrate her. So let me just get her open real quick.
And what's it called?
This one's called, it's called pen, like a pen that you write with, and then field, like an energy field, and then ite, pen field ite.
Never heard of it.
I'm just pulling her out here. Now this crystal right here, I'm gonna give you an introduction before I pull her out. She is the highest vibrational crystal on the earth.
Penfieldite.
The thing with it, she explodes your energy field. and she doesn't start. The reason she explodes your energy field, all of your chakras, is because she doesn't even start in your lower chakras. Her energy field starts above your crown chakra and goes up from there. The reason I was called to go towards it is because I knew that I had a higher mission in life, and I knew that I had the potential to possibly hold something like this. I've never heard. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, Penfield egg, like that. So I'm trying to unwrap her with being extremely careful because I got it wrapped up in all this different stuff. So if I can get a good angle on this, my phone's at 1%, by the way, but I got it charged up. It's just,
right on.
You know how the energies are. Let me see.
I see. Hang on. Let me make your screen big.
So that's like a little piece of it right there. This is the main section. In that blue area there, let me see. That blue, there's crystals right in there. I don't know if you can see them. Those white crystals that are in there, they're pointy. Those crystals are the highest vibrational crystals on the planet. And they have their own little home, as you can see in there. And this is the stone that it grows around. And you can see it just kind of like, so they're in there. That's where they hide. There's some other ones that go around. You can't really see it too well on here. Yeah. That one right there, though, I'm pretty sure you can feel the energy, though.
Well, I've never seen anything like it.
Through the screen. There we go. You see it shining up there?
Oh, yeah.
That's it right there. That's it. That top one up there. Yeah, right there. Yep, that's it. So.
Penfieldite. How did you find that one?
Man, I searched and searched and searched, and then I was so amazed that, of course, while I was searching, this gemologist online posted, like, he just posted it up. He does like weekly posts of the gems that he gets in, and he had a Penfieldite for sale, and it was like $325, and I was like, why not? So, I did my due diligence, saved up a little bit, I got it, and ever since then, she's told me when I'm able to actually use her. Yeah. I can't, as of now, I can use her as much as I want. I can have her on me as long as I need to, and I usually don't take her off my body. Before, though, I'd say about 5 months prior, I had to actually put her down for a week and then pick her up, put her down for a week and pick her up, put her down for a week until my vibration attuned to her. So.
Penfieldite. Heather Caldwell.
Yeah, she loves to share her energy, so I'm sure you can feel everything she has to offer.
Well, there's people shaking, vibrating, crying. Wow, far out. I'm gonna have to break mine out. Right on, man. Let's do this again sometime.
That'd be awesome. I'd be grateful. I'd be grateful.
We would all be. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of other things.
Definitely.
All right, man. Well, you have a powerful rest of the day, and we're all gonna just kind of. I'm glad I don't have another show tonight. I normally would have another one. I might do another one later, but
I was gonna say thank you for this time, because I realized that this went over the normal amount of time.
No, I'm good.
I'll put it that way, quote unquote normal amount of time.
We're good.
The
No,
new
it's
normal.
the new normal, right? The new normal was the old abnormal. Crazy's not crazy anymore.
Yeah.
All right, brother. All blessings to you and yours. Reach out to me if there's anything I can do for you, and I'll be reaching out to you to collaborate again in the next month or so.
Beautiful. Hey, I'm grateful that you had me on. I'm grateful for all the beings and souls who decided to join us today, non-physical and physical. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. I'll definitely message you.
All right, brother. I'll see you later. Peace out.
All right, love you.
Take care.
Take care.
All right, see you.
Found a higher elevation. I did a video earlier. Lower elevation. See that? Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. That light shooting coming in. At least I can see it. I don't know if it can come out. It's a beautiful planet. We're a beautiful species. Everybody's got a role here. We don't understand it. It's time to move away from the lower density vibrations. The veil's been lifted. There's plenty of light beings, higher energies that we don't understand and can never understand as human beings. But we have company here on this earth, and we always have, but now that the veil's lifted, a lot more people are seeing it. Keep your head up. Keep the faith. Most of all, stay in your own power. Protect it. It's yours. It's the only thing you can own in this universe is you. Nobody can own you, and you can't own anybody. And anyone that ever came up with the idea, or whoever did come up with the idea that anything could be possessed on this earth was wrong. There's no such thing as a patent or a copyright or a trademark. No such thing as a contract. Nothing. Soul is soul. We're all one. And that's not a cliche. The light has won. We're all going to be part of this mutual rising. It's not just a soul thing. It's not just a Gaia thing. It's not just a solar system thing. Galactic. It involves more than our sun and our moon. All the stars that we can see. It's the big time. Everybody that's here signed up for it. And it's about to pay off. I'll see y'all at the after party. Todd Medina, Soldier One Studios, wishing you peace, power, protection, and big love to you and yours. One.